So I just wanted to touch on a few immune tips and also cover some interesting philosophical points from the perspective of Ayurveda. So first thing, it's becoming more and more apparent, and that yes, obviously washing your hands and not touching your face, super important. Apparently this virus is very delicate, very sensitive, quite weak in terms of its ability to sustain itself. However, because it's so contagious, it's easy to get the virus in your system by touching, if you touch it or exposed to it and you touch your face. So any orifice, the mouth, the nose, the ears, the eyes. So we have to be very cautious about that. This is a reality. But it's a delicate virus. So what does that mean? That means that strengthening our immune system is really important. So a couple of nutritional things, and I want to talk about a couple other factors as well. Nutritionally speaking, I would say the three biggies, and there's a bunch of things you can do. But the three biggies are going to be zinc, vitamin C, and my favorite would be andrographis, which is both a Chinese herb and an Ayurvedic herb. Very effective, very powerful, wonderful herb. Extremely good for the lungs, the sinuses. It is understood to minimize the cytokine storm, which is the problem that people can get into. The second phase of COVID-19 is after that first phase of feeling lousy. If it really impacts the lungs, then what happens is that if the immune system is struggling, if there's a lot of toxicity, other issues going on, there can be what's called the cytokine storm, and that's where people really get into trouble with the breathing in the lungs. Apparently it's different than normal pneumonia. It feels as if you're climbing Mount Everest and gasping for oxygen. So not a good time to be smoking. Give up those cigarettes, inhalers, whatever. So take care of those lungs. So those are a couple of things. So zinc, vitamin C, also a super good antioxidant. Zinc and vitamin C have been proven to support the immune system, and with other coronaviruses, because this is not the only coronavirus, the other coronaviruses, anywhere from 2 to 3 days decrease in duration, and also significant decrease of sensitivity. Zinc gets right into those viral cells and deactivates them. Vitamin C stimulates white blood cells, it stimulates the immune system in a good way, not an overreactive way. So when we say stimulate, sometimes people get concerned that, oh no, we don't want to overly stimulate the immune system. That's not what we're talking about. An overstimulated immune system means a defunct immune system. It means an immune system that has lost its intelligence. And also often because of, there's many factors, but when there's a lot of toxicity, the body will try to dissolve toxins during a viral attack, and that's one of the functions of a virus. A healthy function of a virus is to actually dissolve toxins in the body. So there's many different things. Vitamin C, zinc, andrographis. If you need help getting any of that, let me know. Sometimes a lot of people are having a hard time getting zinc, vitamin C, and andrographis, and I do have some good sources. I think Deborah's is carrying it, Natural Gourmet where we are, but if you're in an area where you're not able to find it, let me know for sure. You can private message me and we can get it to you in a couple days. But andrographis is an amazing herb, amazing for the liver, the lungs, very powerful. So the other thing I wanted to touch on was in Ayurveda, the principle of what is called the three modes of nature. And why is that important? Because when we're dealing with the immune system, many of us, we don't really talk about the importance of managing the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we are in sympathetic stress mode, that's go mode, guess what? The immune system doesn't work as well. And this is probably one reason why more men and even very fit men, men who are very buff, who really push themselves at the gym. Some of these men, some of these young men, are getting a lot sicker than other people. And part of that could be because of the high cortisol levels that are created with stress and even with excessive exercise. So these things can be there, and when that happens, someone can be very strong and look very vital, and they can even have good energy. But because their immune system is so focused on, or their body is so focused on dealing with the stresses of life and of physical stresses, that the immune system can't handle an onslaught nearly as well of COVID-19. So now is not the time to be starting a program of intense physical workout. I would not recommend that. I would definitely recommend doing exercise and definitely doing some breathing practices, but not overly pushing yourself. This is not the time to do that. And also managing stress. And, you know, for some people, having this sort of lockdown situation is beneficial in the sense that it's helping people to calm down a little bit and not be so, you know, go, rushy all over the place. I'm holding my camera here, so I apologize if I'm shaking around. So calming down, meditation, yoga, these things are really, really important. They will decrease cortisol. Guess what? Cortisol level is a response to stress. And a normal amount of cortisol is a good thing and a normal thing, but excessive cortisol literally interferes with the immune system. And here's the analogy. If there's a tiger in the room, your body doesn't care that you have a little cold. All it cares about is giving you the energy to run away from the tiger. And then after that is a big secretion of cortisol to calm down after that tiger. So very, very important. Manage the immune system. So now what I want to talk about is the three modes of nature. In Ayurveda, there's three energies, and there's three ways of being in the world, and we can be in combination. But there's tamas, rajas, and sattva. Start with tamas. Tamas means density or ignorance. So we can be in a state of ignorant consciousness. What does ignorance mean? It means ignoring. What are we ignoring? We're ignoring truths about our body, about our mind, about our relationships, about this world, about this universe, about what's happening in this world, about what the purpose of being alive is, about so many different things. And so ignorance, it's a very dense energy. And then there's something called passion. Passion is the movement, is the energy of go, 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 go. So what's the problem with rajas? Rajas is a good thing. It means we can go. But if we're always going, then we run right past our life. We literally miss what's happening because we're moving so quickly, and we're moving with so much desire to achieve our goals, or just to get done what we're meant to get done, that we have no time to experience what's actually happening in the moment. It's another form of ignorance. If we just, it's like we're running past what's happening. It's running past our life. It's the go, go, go mode. Now, we all need that sometimes. We all need that sometimes. But to live in that state all the time is very, very unhealthy, and creates what's called excess pitta, excess heat, which can cause a lot of inflammation, and inflammation in the brain and the mind, irritability, inflammation in the body. And you may be successful, but, you know, when it's all said and done, have you connected to your wife or your husband? Have you connected to your children? Have you connected to nature? So rajas, too much rajas means we're flying through life missing all the details. Okay, never taking any time to smell the roses. So then the third energy is called sattva. Sattva means harmony or balance or goodness. So it's interesting, harmony or balance or goodness, beautiful energy. Sattva is also said to be, if you think of a water, a body of water, tamas would be very big waves. Rajas would mean lots of roughness in the waves, and sattva would be very calm. And if you look at a body of water, and you're trying to see your reflection in the water. Obviously, if the waves are very big, you can't see your reflection clearly. But if you look at a very clear body of water, you can see your reflection. So the importance of sattva, or harmony, or balance, the importance of that is that you can see what's really happening. We cannot see what's really happening, and we cannot come out of, you could say, denial, if we're not tapping into sattva. Sattva means the capacity to be present and to see what is. Okay? So it's very important in this day and age, and right now what's happening, is that we're all trying to figure out what the heck is going on. You know, what is this? I mean, some people are just like, hey, they're just believing everything that's on the TV, and that's all there is to it. And then there's all kinds of perspectives about what is the intent of what's happening, from the most horrible perspectives to, sort of the enlightened, or not just the enlightened, but the perspectives of the benefit of what's happening and how there could be some great benefits. So I'm not going to go into that right now. At some point, maybe I will. But there's a lot of perspectives. But in order to tune into what's really happening with your life, with your relationships, with your health, we need to tap into sattva. In fact, it's said in Ayurveda that unless we tap into sattva on a regular basis, then we can't be really healthy, because our bodies are going to be either always in rajas, and our mind always in rajas, or we're going to be always in tamas, or ignorance, or denial. And so that brings me back to this point where in our day today, we can just veg out on the television all day long, or we can scurry around and try to do 3 million things to get everything done. And again, that's good. Cleaning the house, getting things done that we don't normally get done, very good. But I think a lot of us, and again, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, know that tapping into sattva is really, really important. And how do we do that? Just by stopping, going for a walk in the woods, being somewhere in your house that you can get quiet and meditate, or read a really good, inspiring to the heart and the mind and the consciousness book, something like that. Tapping into that energy. Nature is sattvic by nature, so if you have access to woods or a body of water where you can go, that tends to be very sattvic by nature. So the benefit of sattva is that we can slow down, and then by sattva we can begin to see more clearly who we are and what is our purpose. I mentioned last time our dharma. What is our true dharma? What are we meant to be doing with our lives? What is our essential nature? So this is sattva. This is the beginning. In the yoga system, it's considered to be the tapping into sattva is the platform that we can then grow upon to cultivate higher consciousness and divine consciousness, love of God, like that. So this is the 3 modes of nature: tamas, ignorance; rajas, passion; and sattva, goodness or balance. So it's never wrong to be good. And by doing good actions, kindness, balance, breathing, coming into focus, coming into a state of harmony and balance on a regular basis is very important. And here's the other thing. Sometimes when we talk about this, people think, oh my gosh, I should be sattvic all the time. What's wrong with me that I'm not? But that is why they call it a yoga practice or a meditation practice, because it's the art of always coming back to that place a couple times a day. And again, sometimes we need that rajas. We need that rajas. And when you wake up in the morning, you may feel kind of tamas, kind of like dull. And that's okay. It's really normal. It's part of being human. But the idea is that we're meant as human beings to cultivate sattva, to cultivate balance, and the qualities of that, which is truth, honesty, love, kindness, awareness, knowledge. Not just knowledge of things in this world, but knowledge of yourself, knowledge of life, knowledge of what it means to be a human being and the potential of what it means to be a human being. So this is Ayurveda, and I think many of us, maybe not all of us, but many of us have a little more time in the day to consider these things. And so I would encouraging myself, as well as everyone here, to take the opportunity to at least a couple times a day, even better 3 times. The junctures of the days are very nice. The sunrise, midday, the height of the sun, and then the sunset. Very nice opportunities. Or some people like to meditate first thing in the morning or last thing at night. That's also really good. But to take the opportunity to get quiet, to tune in, and connect with your own inner wisdom. It's said in Ayurveda, we all have buddhi, we all have innate intelligence. But if we're in rajas all the time, it's often very difficult to connect to our innate intelligence, our innate wisdom. It's there. It's like right below the surface. But if the water is very rough, sometimes all we have to do is drop beneath the roughness of the water and tap in, and all of a sudden, bubbling upward will be truth, will be awareness, like that. So this is the beginning of, you could say, of spiritual life or of human life. The beginning of human life is when we start to expand our consciousness. And there's many, many stages after that, which we can talk about as well. But, because what is an animal? Eating, sleeping, mating, and fearing or defending. This is basic life of animals and humans, right? So it's no different. But the human being, we have the opportunity to cultivate higher consciousness. And I would say that at this time, what we're all going through, this remarkable thing that's happening all over the planet, it's a strange way to experience oneness. I mean, I used to think that, the big wake-up was when California fell into the ocean due to a tsunami or an earthquake or something. But I realize now that would not really wake up people, because just like there's so much suffering happening all over the planet, and so many wars, and so many horrible events, and it's so easy for people to go, oh wow, that's terrible, but not really feel what's going on. So if something happened to California, then people in Boston would say, wow, what a bummer, but really thinking, glad it wasn't me. That's human nature. So this is happening to everybody. So there's sort of a very unique thing happening right now. And the more, I truly believe, the more we all wake up to our divine nature, to our dharma, to the energy of sattva, the more we do that on a regular basis, that's the unseen. We can hear so many things about what's going to happen. And that's the downside of watching too much TV. The predictions of what's going to happen, as if your life really fully depends on what's going to happen. The truth is, as we know, we're all going to leave at some point. So, I would say let's see this as a wake-up call for everybody to understand that all of us, our life is temporary. Our life is temporary no matter what. So how are we going to best use it and fulfill our purpose here and wake up to our true nature, our divine consciousness? And again, there's many stages of that, so which we will talk about. So those are just some thoughts about this: rajas, passion; tamas, ignorance; and sattva, goodness. And tamas, we have enough of that in this world, right? Enough ignorance. And as I mentioned last time, there's ignorance inside of ourself. This is a great time of clearing off the shadows of ourself, but also seeing the shadows of this planet and how horrendous the pharmaceutical industry has been. Some of these big industries, how horrendous the slaughterhouses have been, and how horrendous the child sex trafficking has been. These are horrible things that have been going on the planet for a very long time, and they're becoming, more and more people are becoming aware of it. But so again, how can we have a healthy society if these things are going on underneath and we all know about it, but I guess we feel helpless. But awareness is a very important thing, is a super important thing, and that's something that we're becoming more and more aware of. You know, when a tree gets attacked by a fungus, it sets off an aroma so the other trees in the area, its brothers and sisters, know how to cultivate their immune system, how to react, so that it doesn't get attacked by that same fungus. So in the same way, there's things happening here, this 100th monkey effect. There's things even with our immune system, we will figure this out. But even with consciousness, so many things, when we all become more and more aware, I call it the God factor. The God factor, that's one element that, you know, very few people on CNN or Fox News or whatever are acknowledging, whatever news station. You know, the regular thought process of what's happening on the planet right now. They're not taking into consideration the unseen forces that are acting right now, because there are unseen forces. I truly believe that. And we will see how it plays out. But connect to those benevolent unseen forces. That's what I would say. Sorry, everybody. It was, you know, thanks for letting me go on for a while here. I hope you're doing well. If you want to make any comments or private message me, if you need any help getting andrographis or zinc or C or some of these other herbs like monolaurin or guduchi, or gudichi, I should say, let me know, and we're happy to get it for you. We can get it pretty quick. Okay, blessings. Talk to you soon. Bye.